Hey everyone, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to figure out how the most massive, seemingly impossible goals are actually achieved. We look at world-class athletes, brilliant artists, or polyglots, and we just assume they've got some innate, natural talent that we completely lack. Well, today, we're tearing that apart. We're going to look at a highly proven framework called the Marginal Adjustment method. It completely proves that getting the wildest dreams isn't about taking giant leaps. It's all about simple, marginal adjustments. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest here. If I handed you a pencil and a blank piece of paper, could you draw a flawless, photorealistic masterpiece of breath? For almost all of us, that question triggers this universal wave of self-doubt. We're like, no way, absolutely not. I don't have that kind of talent. I can barely draw a stick figure. We completely dismiss the whole idea because that end goal, it just feels entirely out of reach. But take a look at this. Could you draw a simple, solid gray square? Yeah, of course you could. Every single one of us could. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact Mr. Close, who happens to be one of the highest earning artists in the world. He actually builds his massive photorealistic portraits using a grid, and he just fills it in one simple square at a time. Think about it. If you can make a gray square, 2, or 9, if you can draw just one simple gray square, you literally possess the kind of skill necessary to create an absolute masterpiece just by creating thousands of them. That brings us to a huge addition of success. It's captured perfectly by Western author Stephen Dunbar. He says, what stands between us and achieving our most ambitious dreams is our capacity to possess example of this mentality. How much to do which problems and make decisions to solve them. See, because if we continue this compound nature of making loads of decisions every single day, just acknowledging and moving through the process creates a new decision factor in our result. A decision success rate. Now, when Djokovic was winning about 49% of his matches, he was winning exactly 49% of the points he played. To jump into the top 3 in the entire world, he only had to bump that decision success rate up to 52%. And to become the #1 ranked player completely dominating the sport, he only needed to improve his decision success rate to just 55%. I mean, look at the wildly disproportionate return on investment here. Back in 2004, he was ranked 680th and making a very respectable $250,000 a year. But by 2011, ranked #1 in the world, his earnings had absolutely skyrocketed to an average of $14 million a year in prize money alone. He didn't control his world ranking, and he definitely didn't control the prize money. Literally, all he controlled were those tiny, micro decisions right there on the court. A mere 6% improvement in his decision success rate completely transformed his entire life and legacy. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking right now. Come on, that's Novak Djokovic. He's an elite athlete. So let's contrast that elite sports data with the highly relatable kind of anti-hero reality of Stephen Dunbar himself. Throughout his childhood, from kindergarten all the way to his high school graduation, his report cards pretty much all said the exact same thing. Stephen is a very bright young boy, if only he would just settle down and focus. He was this undisciplined, easily distracted C- student who basically couldn't focus on anything for more than 10 minutes at a time. He really wanted to focus, but he just felt like he couldn't. Which takes us to Section 2, hacking your daily routine and becoming an active participant. Going into his junior year of college, Dunbar decided he was done being a passive spectator. He was going to hack his routine. He realized he desperately needed a marginal adjustment. The absolutely crucial point here was how he structured his tasks. If he got assigned 5 chapters to read, he wouldn't look at it as 5 chapters, or honestly, even 1 chapter. That was way too intimidating for his 10-minute attention span. Instead, he broke it down into these completely unintimidating microtasks. He would sit down, put away all distractions, and commit to reading just 3 or 4 paragraphs. That's it. After 5 or 10 minutes, he'd get up, go shoot some hoops, draw, play a video game, whatever, and then come back for another short burst. And by making this tiny marginal adjustment to his process, the C- student literally became a straight A, Dean's List student. He went on to top-tier graduate programs and eventually became a super successful hedge fund manager. Fast forward a few years, and as a highly successful professional, he started wondering why he wasn't applying this exact same method to his personal life. You see, he had a 45-minute walking commute across London each way. That is an hour and a half a day or 360 hours a year of awake, aware time that he was spending just listening to music on his iPod. That is a staggering amount of time when you actually add it all up. So he decided to make a marginal adjustment. He went out, bought 33 CDs of a German language program, and loaded them onto his device. But he knew himself way too well. He knew he was inherently undisciplined and that eventually he'd just get bored of the language tapes and switch right back to his favorite music. So he executed a brilliant life hack. He removed the temptation entirely by deleting all the music off his iPod. Boom, gone. The only microdecision left available to him during that commute was to either listen to the German tapes or just walk in complete silence. And guess what? 10 months and 99 CDs later, he traveled to Berlin, took an intensive course, and was literally speaking fluent German with the locals. And that brings us to section 3, one stitch at a time, snowballing into the absurd. Once Dunyer realized that this simple marginal adjustment technique worked for, getting straight A's and achieving language fluency, he decided to scale the whole thing up to the absolute absurd. Just look at this incredible list of skills he acquired. He earned his auto racing license, he learned how to fly helicopters, he took up rock climbing, skydiving, aerobatic flying, and even parkour. I mean, he achieved this bizarre and fantastic array of skills simply because he absolutely refused to remain a spectator in his own life. He just took every single one of these massive, scary endeavors and broke them down into tiny, manageable decisions. Just consider his goal to lose weight. Back in 2007, he was about 25 pounds overweight. But he didn't just swear off junk food or buy some expensive gym membership he'd never actually use. Instead, he committed to hiking all 33 trails in the Santa Barbara Mountains. Keep in mind, he had never hiked before. But here's the real secret. Achieving that goal, it doesn't happen at the summit of the mountain. It happens right here, with step 1. The actual decision is made when you're just lying on the couch, scrolling through your phone. The micro decision is to put the phone down. Then, put on your hiking clothes, walk out the door, get in the car. Take just one step onto the trailhead. If you don't make that correct first decision on the couch, the decision at the top of the mountain literally never even occurs. By focusing entirely on those couch decisions, he successfully hiked all 33 trails, lost the 25 pounds, and eventually completed the hardest half marathon in the world. And the wild thing is, the compounding effects of these micro decisions eventually lead to some fantastically unexpected places. In 2012, his wife suggested he should learn to knit. He really wasn't passionate about it at all, but one day, while he was resting under this massive 40-foot-tall eucalyptus tree during a hike, a completely random thought popped into his head. He thought, that tree would look really cool if it were covered in yarn. He went home, Googled it, and discovered yarn bombing, which is basically the art of wrapping public structures in yarn. The next International Yarn Bombing Day was just 82 days away. So for the next 82 days, he knitted literally everywhere. In corporate boardrooms, right there on the trading floor, on airplanes, just one stitch at a time. He pulled off his first yarn bomb, and the incredible public response pushed him to go even bigger. What started as just knitting under a tree snowballed into this massive international logistics project. He actually ended up with 388 contributors from 36 different countries, helping him wrap not just one, but 18 massive mountain boulders in the Los Padres National Forest. And believe it or not, it didn't stop there. He eventually switched from knitting to crocheting because he realized he preferred it. He started making these little granny squares. Standard ones are usually about 7 inches, but he thought, well, why stop there? He started making larger and larger squares until he finally set his sights on the Guinness World Records. It took him 2 years, 7 months, and 17 days. Over 500,000 stitches, incorporating more than 30 miles of yarn, done one single stitch at a time in the spare 5 or 10 minutes of his day. And yes, he secured the official Guinness World Record for the largest crocheted granny square in the world. Absolutely wild. So, from a C- student who couldn't focus for 10 minutes to an elite hedge fund manager, a polyglot, a helicopter pilot, and a Guinness World Record holder, the underlying framework never changed. It was never about making massive, superhuman leaps of discipline. It was always about taking huge, intimidating projects, breaking them right down into their simplest forms, and making marginal adjustments to the micro decisions of the day. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question. Look at those dusty dreams you've been putting off. What ambitious goal are you pulling off the bookshelf today? What is the single, easiest micro decision you can make right now to get started?